Welcome to the back,
to the back,
to the back,
to the back
to the back
podcast.
Was that an extra to the back?
I think it was. That's why I was
Little-
hesitant.
we still got it on time though.
Yeah.
Little, I don't know. This is part 2 of. I'm gonna be doing a lot of talking here. You can carry some of the
But it's
extra
part
talking.
2 of our. Last week we talked about my body image issues and my eating disorders that revolve a lot around trauma and also my neurodivergency. And this week we're going to be dealing with Dakota's.
With mine.
Those issues. So again, trigger warning. These are sensitive topics.
I am very anxious. This
Yeah.
is something I have been not dreading, but spent all last night and all morning thinking of. Just because it is probably the biggest. I don't know how you classify it. Not like trauma or like whatever like thing in my life, like constant, like
biggest issue.
to put in perspective. I told one of my friends this in college, like like a year or two ago, when like I was really trying to explain to him how much my body and everything affects me. I don't know if it's the same now, but for a majority of my life, at any given moment, I'd say at least 50% of the time, I'm thinking about my body or something to do with what I'm eating or how I look, or if I feel fat or overweight or anything like that. And that has been going on for, I guess, since 4th grade. So I guess we can start there.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just start like from the very beginning. As a kid, obviously, I don't know. I really need to figure out if I could blot some images during this time so you get perspective. But I mean, I wasn't like a chunky kid.
No, I don't think you started putting on.
I had a little man body. I know that.
Yeah, he did have a little man body.
And
It was like
had a
solid,
big ass
like,
head.
Yeah,
I looked like Megamind.
a lot of the babies in our family have big heads. And
It's a running theme?
Yeah, it's a thing. My sister and I, whenever someone has a baby, our first thing is, how big is the head? Because we have big-headed babies. We were big-headed babies.
Is that why you had to have C-section?
No, I mean...
Too big of a head?
Maybe. No, your Aunt Kelly had a normal birth with Avery, and she had a big head.
I just like to say it's because I have a huge noggin. So,
yeah.
Or a huge brain.
I literally would have to get his shirts in a larger size than his pants or shorts.
Yeah, that's still a thing now because of my hair, but it's always been like just like the head hole.
God, I remember you crying so much whenever I'd put shirts over your head because it hurt.
Yes.
I'm not like I was doing it on purpose.
Well, anyways, the point is,
it was probably kindergarten. You started to get a little bit like not overweight, but like
I've been looking at pictures. I really don't think like truly that I put on any extra weight.
Until
you would
classify
it until 4th grade, and as we mentioned before, 4th grade is when
my dad died.
My peepaw passed away.
Yeah.
And I think it was the first time, not the first time, but like, no, it was the first time where I experienced grief.
Yes.
There was times before where I experienced like sadness or like trauma, I guess you could say.
When Juno passed.
Yeah, but I meant like major grief.
Major grief, yes.
That was, and like one of the big things that comes with grief is eating.
Yeah. If that's how you deal with your feelings.
If that is a big thing. That's a common thing. And I was living with Grandpa and Grandma at the time, and then just moved out right after.
We moved out right after he was diagnosed.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, when I was over at theirs, I remember snacking a lot. That was a big thing, and just like, I mean, like I mentioned before in the other one, I mean I love food regardless of what I'm gonna say for the rest of this, but like just genuinely like love food and all kinds of food. I have a huge kind of palate. I like cooking, like I like food, and like the like idea of it. So you couple the fact that like snacking as a kid, and then just not wanting to deal with the emotions at the time, or not knowing how to deal with them.
I mean, we can backtrack and say
Plus,
it
like,
actually started. Remember when I was away packing up the stuff to come back home and you were staying there with them without me. And I think missing me
well,
and
yeah, I was just gonna get to that. I also cover the fact I don't have fast metabolism. That is a big thing, and so like that was a big that I will mention a lot is there has been countless nights, many during middle school and elementary, where I wish I had the metabolisms of my friends.
yeah.
Um, and that I could just eat what I want and be skinny. And I think, funny enough, I don't like. I feel like I'm going like so many different tangents. Just because this is such a big thing. But I mean, a big factor of my eating and like wanting to be that way, I think, is because you didn't think I liked girls for the longest time, and that was just because I didn't want to say I did, because I didn't think I could like get a girlfriend or anything because of my weight. That
Mm,
was the biggest thing. Um, I say all the time, I love my personality. It was just like how I
yeah.
looked and how I felt about myself and how I saw myself in the mirror.
And I'll
Um,
tell you, it hurts me still every time that I think about it, that I miss those signs, especially as somebody who went through that. Like, I can't tell you how many times in middle school I would pray that I'd wake up thin, like just, that I'd be thin because I
yeah,
knew that was going to solve all of my problems. And you were outwardly seemed so happy um that I didn't catch it until it was too late.
I guess I knew how to mask really well.
Well, you learn from the best.
Yeah, and I am, for better or worse, a good liar.
Yeah, I'm not.
Uh,
You did not get that from me.
but I mean, it's like, I mean, think all the time. Like I wore like hoodies when it was hot, and I mean, we live in Texas, but it's the wearing hoodies, um, to cover up you being overweight. It's wearing exercise shorts because anything don't feel well. I never wore jeans or pants until really like eighth grade because nothing felt comfortable. I thought looked good on me. It was so many things coupled, like the tugging of your shirt. I saw a TikTok. It was like fat boys will know like this. Like I don't like that term in general, but like
Yeah.
it is cool to like see, like to connect with those things that you do to cover up that you're overweight, which is ridiculous because your weight shouldn't define who you are as a person. It really shouldn't. Um, but like middle school really sucked because of that. That's when I was my heaviest. I was probably around what, 5'5" ish,
Yeah, around
around
there.
that area. I mean, I'm 5'9" now and don't look like getting any taller. Probably stopped growing around eighth, ninth grade,
uh,
10th grade
10th
maybe.
grade, maybe.
But anyways, I was around five, whatever, middle of 5 foot. And then I think the highest I ever saw on the scale, and I know I weighed higher than this. I think I saw 240.
No way. No, I wouldn't have.
It was also, I remember being in sixth grade and we had like supposed to we weighed ourselves for PE class and we had to
Yeah.
like share results, and it was the most embarrassing thing of my
I'm
life.
sorry.
I hated it. But oh,
Yeah.
that's the thing I was gonna mention. All this time I played sports. I played baseball. I played flag football. I was active. I did sound like I was just like a kid who like snacked and like video games. I did do that. Don't get me wrong.
No, you
But
played outside a
I
lot.
played outside a lot. It was
Yeah.
just couple the fact that I have a slower metabolism and just I was out eating how much I was active.
Well, and your natural build is like mine, athletic.
Yeah, I put on fat, but I also put on muscle easy
Yeah.
too. Um, and so just that, I mean, just years and years, and I feel like I'm like downplaying something that like really is a big uh part of my life.
I'm pretty sure you're disassociating right now while you talk
I am
about it.
disassociating, but I'm really trying to like remember and cover all bases. Baseball pun. um, but I guess the second chapter of my eating with
Eighth grade.
everything was eighth grade. So eighth grade, um, I'm taken out of middle school because of problems that I don't want to get into. But it's like I had a racist teacher, and it was just at the time it was better for me to do online schooling, like K through 12. And that was a weird year for me because for a lot of reasons that was a horrible year because I was very isolated at home and removed from my public schooling. But I also like really enjoyed being at home playing video games. Like I know that sounds like unhealthy, but I really enjoyed it.
He
Like
did do
I
school too.
played a lot of Overwatch. I taught myself in school in eighth grade, but like um towards the end of that year, I guess being at home, I remember just like being in my room one day and then just feeling my body, like feeling my legs and everything. I was like, I want to make a change. I want to I want to be fit. Um and so like it's like I don't know, it was like 2014, 15. I don't know.
No, that'd
But
have
like
been.
you do I think a lot of people do around my age, at least for my generation, like YouTube stuff, Google stuff, what to do, uh workout routines, what I think eating right is.
He never came to me with
Um
this.
no,
I'm
let
just
me
saying.
yeah, I can feel your aura and energy waiting to step
It's
in.
not. I'm just
I'm just
saying.
saying, there's stuff like you don't even
I
know yet,
know.
and so I'm trying to just go through that. Like I remember watching like these like Viners like do like in their vlogs they did like planks and like ab workouts, and I would do like stuff like that, and just do like jumping jacks, and it was starting slow with like 20-pound dumbbells that you had in my room, and doing push-ups, and just like I don't remember even doing that much cardio to be honest. I mean I got a pull-up bar. I remember doing stuff with that. And then when I got to ninth grade, the people that remember me from middle school or yeah, elementary were like, "Wow, you look like you've lost weight," and I did. I mean, I like gonna go into it. Going into ninth grade was my first. No, it was my second because my first eating disorder was overeating. My second eating disorder was anorexia, or I wouldn't say it was anorexia. I would say it was more. I know it's what anorexia is, but I was like went in this mini starving myself slash malnourishment because I don't think it lasted long enough and had the other qualities of being classified as anorexia. With that being said, I'm not a professional, so just keep that in mind. Um, and so like I severely underate for what I should have. I wasn't tracking my calories right, so I was eating more than I thought I was, but I was still eating too little. Um, But then ninth grade, like I was still like eating like Chick-fil-A and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. And then I kind of got it more in a healthier range into high school as I just started reacclimating with like people and friends, and that's when I found acting and theater, and like my overall mental became better. So I think that helped with my eating. Um, but I was still unhappy with the way I looked. I don't think that changed. There was always kind of wanting more to look better, feel better, even though my friends thought I looked good. Um, I didn't believe them because I didn't believe it myself. Um, and that kind of stayed the same up until junior, senior year. Um, and then junior and senior year, I think I really got the best hold of it. Or no, I'm glancing over something. I did intermittent fasting, which I don't think was intermittent fasting can work for people. I think it can, but the way I think it hurt me the most is it took away from me being social, which I hate that I did that. I hated that. I canceled so many plans with friends because I had to fit inside a certain eating schedule that I created for myself. And the whole thing with intermittent fasting is just you eat within this certain. Mine was an 8-hour time window. Um, but it doesn't like change the calories in or calories out. It just changes the time when you can eat food. So it really wasn't good for me, especially with doing theater, doing high school, wanting to have friendships and like have fun. That wasn't something I should be doing, especially at that young of an age. I should have really just, in retrospect, been eating healthy foods, or just in really just eating like
In
in
moderation.
moderation, relatively healthy foods, working out like I was, and then enjoying life. Like that's what I should have been focusing on. I should have been focusing on school and then loving my acting career and then building these friendships and just focusing on still being a kid. But I let my food and my overeating and my sadness consume me. Because it did. It consumed me, and it still has a very strong hold on me. Um, I'm just trying to remember. But I mean, flash forward junior, senior year. Still kind of doing the same thing. I remember my theater coach, even like he like asked me how many calories I was eating
Mm.
junior year when we were on a tournament, and he was like, "You're eating way too little calories." And I remember thinking, "You're crazy. I have a slow metabolism. I've tried eating more, and I just put on fat. I don't like the fat in my stomach. I don't like how it feels. It's uncomfortable." Um, and that was another factor. Like I didn't like, because there, even though like in retrospect and still now, I know that I looked good. Hopefully, I can figure out how to put photos up here. Um, I didn't like the remnants of when I was overweight. I don't want to get more into that, but like when you lose weight, there's obviously still like factors that show that you were overweight at some point, and you can never get rid of that. And it was more of me coming to terms, which I should have accepted the therapy when I could have at the time. The prospect of doing therapy to work on myself, because that's something you have to work on. Because yeah, you can get surgery to change that, but really you should start with your mental before going to that solution. Uh, so yeah, junior, senior year. Then senior year, I get accepted into USC, go to USC. Big adjustment, but it was really good for me. And I think it was when I really, for the first time ever, found a good relationship with, or a better relationship with food again. And I think it's just because I was so happy with my life outside of that, that I didn't think that my life needed to revolve around what I was eating. And I could like enjoy eating food and then also having a social life. I mean, I was eating, the campus like has so many things. I was eating like Panda Express almost every day.
Yeah.
Uh, Shout out Panda Express, the string bean chickens, and I was eating more than I thought I was eating too. And I was eating like also like because it was California, I was eating these like healthy foods from like the cafes that they had there. And if like my friends would go out, sometimes I would like. I remember we went to Joshua Tree and I had this like bagel and lox like with salmon or something.
Yeah.
Salmon. Why did I say salmon? Who
Either
says
way,
salmon?
I do. I say it both ways.
Yeah, I know you do, and it
I'm
bugs
sorry.
me. You flippity flop, flip flip flip
I do.
flop. Um, But like I was like, oh, that's so good, and I was just like, I was eating, but there was, don't get me wrong, it wasn't a quick fix. I remember calling her and having meltdowns if I felt like I overate. Ooh, overate. Like, and then it especially happened when I got sick, because that's like when I get
Oh, when
sick,
you got
I'm
COVID?
so hungry. Yeah, when I got COVID was really hard because I felt like I should have been hospitalized. It hit me really hard, and I just remember um putting on fat because I was bedridden and I was just eating and I was immobile. I mean, but I did. No, I did. And but I'm saying that with to be said. You gotta work with me here.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta work with
know.
me here. Okay. I did. You have to let me finish. I did put on fat. I don't want to beat around the bush. I did, but it shouldn't have been my concern. My concern should have been getting healthier and not dying from
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know how it would affect me. Um, but that wasn't my main concern when I had COVID. My main concern when I had COVID wasn't, oh, I have COVID. It was, oh, how does my body look, and when can I get back to eating or exercising?
Yeah.
Um, with all that being said, I think I wrapped up freshman year of college really well with my eating. And then the summer leaving freshman year of college was the best I think I've been mentally healthy in my brain, in my body, in my relationships. Just overall, I feel I looked the best. I felt the best physically. Um, I was eating more, but still being active. And then all that changed when I went back to college sophomore year. Um, and I'm still trying to figure out what the domino was that brought all the mental things to a downfall, because I did eventually leave. Leave of absence turned into college isn't the route I wanted to go to. I still want to do acting. I still want to be in that area. It's just I feel like I couldn't really afford it. I mean, USC is expensive, and I didn't know if the college academic route was what I wanted. I loved my friends there. I loved what they were providing, but I didn't know if doing college and getting a degree and going through that was the best for me. And so then I moved back, um, and those same thoughts of looking in the mirror and not feeling well came back. Um, and then at some point in going to the gym, I got bored with lifting weights. And going like I was like healthy, like I pushed like 1,000 pounds on leg press. I'm not joking.
He's not.
Like it's over 1,000. Like I was strong.
Yeah.
I was healthy, but then I just got so bored, and I think it's because my mental was so shot. But I got so bored with working out that I just resorted to like, oh, well, then I'll just only do certain workouts, or I'll just only play basketball. And then I was like, I got bored with basketball because I never got to play with the people I wanted. And so I was like, oh, let me just walk on the treadmill and just do that. And that gradually went to me walking for basically 2+ hours, at least 5 times a week. Um, and then undercutting my eating. And I lost basically, I would say, at least 20 pounds of muscle, 20 to 25 pounds of muscle, and at least 30 to 40 pounds within months unhealthily.
See.
I,
March, April, May. It wasn't until May, right before Mother's Day, that I don't know what prompted you to weigh yourself. I'd already been calculating for a few months what I saw him eat, and I was terrified. I knew it was way too little, and
yeah,
I finally like. It's very hard to talk to him about his body, what he eats. It's He's so reactionary about it. Um, and I understand, like I get it. Um, but it was, yeah, right before Mother's Day that you weighed yourself, and when you told me the number, I and there was also your heart rates. You had a lot of low heart rate notifications for like 2 months before that, and I kept telling you that that's not good.
yeah. I have a natural low heart rate just because I've always been active, but it was really low. Um, but yeah, that's when I got, and I actually was anorexic. When anorexia actually did take over me. And for me, it came out of nowhere. Obviously, in retrospect, I can see how it happened. Why it happened is still kind of figuring that out, but how it happened is very obvious. Um, and it was bad. I mean, it was this new kind of feeling that I didn't experience because, I mean, like I mentioned before, I had the background of being overweight, but now I was underweight and I lost all that muscle and all that strength, and things just felt uncomfortable in a new kind of way. Um, I'm sorry. I mean, it hurt to sleep. I couldn't sleep. I was up all night, or I was up severely early in the morning. Just because it physically was painful to be that low of weight. Uh, and I would say now I'm in the recovery process of anorexia. Um, I haven't weighed myself in a minute. But the last time I weighed myself, I put on from my lowest. I put at least 25 pounds
Yeah.
back on. And I think I put on more, but I just haven't weighed myself because I don't want to introduce this scale and weigh myself again until I'm at a much healthier place. Um, and like through that, I've been able to I do like calisthenics at home, which is like I've always actually loved calisthenics. I go back and forth on like what I like doing as far as like exercising because I get so bored with it. That's a weird thing. I can be repetitive and have like so many things be like the same for me each day, but working out I have to change it up because I can get boring. Um, but I always love calisthenics. Even my favorite like superheroes are like Spider Man and like Robin and like Nightwing, all these like acrobats.
Yeah.
Um, and so like what is it like Stephen Amell who plays Arrow? Like I loved like he did a bunch of
Oh,
that and like
yeah.
that's something like I'd love to be able to like parkour and stuff like that. That's the stuff that really interests me. Um, and like I still now would say this, but like always like if I just didn't have to work out and I could look the way I wanted and just like be just anything besides that and not have to worry what I would eat, I would take that in a heartbeat. It's not like I liked working out. I mean I do, but I like it's not like it's something that I like. I wasn't like a fitness head, like yeah,
I
gym
like working
bro.
out.
I mean I do like don't get me wrong. Sometimes I'm like I really like the sensation when I was doing it and I miss it now, especially like I miss being strong.
Yeah.
Um, but it wasn't like you know what I mean. Like it didn't.
Well, I mean, I don't,
I
if you,
wasn't a stereotypical gym bro.
no, and you know me, like, it's always a struggle before I get there. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go. But once
Yeah,
I'm
once I'm
there,
there and once you're done, you
I
love
love
it.
it. And
Yeah.
if I could outwork a bad diet, I would do it. Like, if I could eat whatever I wanted, as long as I worked out, I'd be like, bet, do it. I will do that. Because I know, like, that for me, like, it helps release endorphins. It helps my mental health, too, to work out.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what else to say.
You should maybe talk about how your OCD contributed to this.
That's the thing. I don't know if I had OCD before or after this because whether I did or not, it has been severely amplified having anorexia and the eating and everything because it was I don't know what it was, but I developed strong OCD and a needing of time and schedule. And if things weren't certain the way or I couldn't get a certain food or eat the certain thing, my whole day would be ruined. And I mean that. Like, I don't mean that in the dramatic way. I mean,
No, he means
mentally,
it.
my whole day was ruined and I was in mental shambles.
That probably started though.
Shambles.
Yeah.
Shout out my One Piece fans. You don't
Um.
know that. She's not there yet.
Uh. It probably did start in high school. The
Probably
OCD
with
because
the intermittent fasting.
yeah, because it wasn't just like oh I he ate whatever. It had to be specific things.
Yeah.
And God forbid if I
But
could not find that in a
that's the weird
store.
thing. I like weird foods that, like or like those like picky eater foods. I'm not a picky eater, I don't think.
No, no,
Like I love pickled onions. I like all the only food that like I genuinely don't like is like squash or
no.
like
Your palate is way more developed than mine.
And I can cook. That's the thing. I
Yeah.
literally can cook. And like I've created so many recipes and making so many foods that like that's what I hate. I hate it's ridiculous because I have the knowledge about eating right, about exercising right, about keeping a healthy diet, but I can't apply it to myself, or I couldn't apply it to myself. Like it's that common thing of like, oh, they'll give all the good advice but not take it from themselves.
Well, I mean, in the retrospective, like, you know, when we talked about with me how people say, well, just eat less, like it's that easy, right? In yours, at where you're at right now, it's me, like, as people say, eat more, like it's that easy.
Well, that's the thing I was saying. It wasn't, and my friends when I was telling them about how I and like I'm sure I've told the friends that will see this, but I'm sure not all of them know the deep things of it. But like they would tell me just eat more or just eat, try introducing foods. Why can't you just like have like a shake and stuff? And it's not that it is that simple, but it really isn't that simple, especially when you add in the fact that I have the background of being overweight and for so long that yes, my head's telling me if you need to eat more to put on weight because you are underweight. But everything else is telling me from my past that if you eat more, you'll be fat. When
Yeah.
that's not the case or what I should be concerned with at all.
No. I mean, I would greatly. I'll take my eating disorder any day of the week over what you go through. It is so hard to watch because I do just, it's like, just please eat more, but you've gotten your stomach to a place where you can only take in so much.
That's another thing I didn't mention. And I'd like to say this all to say, and I feel like you still kind of don't believe this, but I am in recovery. I don't think I'm anorexic anymore. I am recovering,
Oh,
eating more.
no, I
Like
know you are
I'm
eating more.
at a better place. It's just
I look at it like this. A lot of people, there's people that like go to 12 step meetings and they'll say, I'm a recovered alcoholic or I'm a recovered addict. I say I'm a recovering, meaning I am always in recovery.
well, yeah,
Any
I'm in
moment I can
recovery,
slip
and yeah,
back.
anyone
And
I can slick back.
I see
I'm
that
not saying that.
when like I've asked like, hey, we eat that, and then you like immediately regret eating it. Like the mental part and the physical, because you know that you can
Yeah,
only
but
eat so
the thing
much.
is, like, yeah, and then also, but what I'm gonna get at, and a big reason why that has been recently, is because on two separate occasions since being anorexic and then now being in recovering
Yeah.
anorexia, I have cheated. I ate carrot cake that she had for her birthday because it's something I love that she makes, and it's one of my favorite desserts. But I ate like over
Ha-
half
over half a cake.
a cake. That's the thing. I have a huge appetite. I have a huge appetite. Like when I would eat, my favorite food of all time is donuts. Let me tell you what my donut order was, and this is a big thing. Like legitimately, I want to have donuts again, but that's the problem is I have an eating disorder. I've had that in the past, so that's why I've steered clear from it because I can't. It's hard for me just to have little moderation of something that I really enjoy. Um, the like addiction runs in my blood. Um, but my donut order, it was one regular glazed donut, one to two regular glazed donuts because that's my favorite. An apple fritter, um, a cinnamon roll, not a cinnamon roll, but a donut cinnamon roll. There's a difference. I hope you know there's a difference. A cinnamon twist, probably one or two of those. A chocolate like iced donut, a blueberry cake donut, maybe one or two of those. At least half a dozen donut holes. At least
Yeah.
sometimes two dozen. Pigs in a blanket, but really a kolache, one or two of those. If you know, you know. Kolache's from Texas, so like, it's like a it's like a pig in a blanket, but better.
On steroids.
I didn't want to say that word
Oh
because
shoot.
yeah,
Yeah.
um,
God, that's ridiculous.
yeah. Uh, but that was like the minimum. I'm probably forgetting stuff. Oh, and a chalky milk for sure. Uh, But like I have a huge appetite. So yes, I ate over half a cake that night, and I felt good after I ate it because I was like, finally, I've broken this. I broke through the wall. Um, Went to bed, thought I accomplished a milestone, which I kind of did. Um, didn't regret it. Then a couple hours later, in the middle of the night, I woke up and fell trying to go to the restroom because the sheer amount of food and sugar combined with how much my stomach shrank and being on so little food every single day, my body couldn't handle it. Like I almost had to go to the emergency room. Um, when I should have just had one slice, but really I should have been in a better place with my food to where I could have handled that, and it would have just been the normal you ate a bunch of food,
Yeah.
like a Thanksgiving type of deal. Um, and then the second time was Christmas, and it wasn't as bad, but I ate a lot of what was like barbecue
A lot
chicken,
of protein.
a lot of protein. So I basically got protein sickness, because I overate again, and so since then I've had this like I would contribute it to PTSD, where if I feel like if I eat something outside of what I was expecting to eat, that there's a chance that it could react in a bad way to my body. And so I've tried to steer clear of that. But I have since then, so I am recovering and overall just upping what I eat in general. But with addition, adding like like more variety in just like foods and not like tracking that or like worried about that's all what I ate today. Um, like trying samples at like Sprouts or like eating like pieces of food that you eat or like some of the lunches you eat and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Um, like I've even gone like as I've told you, but I've like got, like samples at like Walmart and stuff like that. Like I've ate that. Um, so yeah, I don't know what that sparked, but where that came from, I don't know. I always forget. This
It's
is
just to
such
say
a
that yes, you're in recovery. You're not recovered, but you're in recovering.
yeah,
It's always because again, you have to eat to live. It will probably always be something that you will have to keep an eye on.
yeah,
I mean, my goal is for you would be to get to a place where you're not having to think about every little thing that goes in your mouth.
I hate that. I mean, I don't. I wish I could. I do like that I'm able to tell this story
Yeah.
because I think it's important, especially. I don't want to. I don't know what it's like for women, but I do know that bigger guys I think go overlooked sometimes,
So I'm just bigger guys. I just think eating disorders
and especially with
in
guys
men
and
and
men is very much overlooked. Eating disorder. That's what I meant. Especially anorexia.
or another one that because so like you went from binge eating to a little touching into anorexia, then to orthorexia, which is where it for those that don't know, it's like everything you eat has to be healthy, and it's like when you're
Oh yeah,
working
that's
out all
what
the
it
time, like
was.
so, and then the orthorexia then ended in up becoming full on anorexia.
Yeah.
So I think, I mean, just diet culture is very toxic.
It can be very toxic.
It is
I
a,
don't want to put absolutes. I don't believe in something like that.
I'm not saying that working out
I
and
don't. Well,
eating
I'm
well
just
is
saying you. I'm just saying
toxic.
you said gym culture and diet culture is toxic. I don't believe it's toxic. I believe it can be very
A
toxic, and
good majority
it
of it
is
is.
something that young men are very susceptible to fall into the toxic side of it, especially when they're first starting out in their fitness journey. Because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I mean that in the actual sense.
Yes.
Um, but yes, I but all that to say, I'm glad because I think this light should be shed on this. With that being said, I wish I couldn't. I wish I didn't have to talk not. I don't wish I talk about this. I wish I could sit here and talk about other things in my life that I like more, and I wish this was never a part of my life, and I wish this was just a thing that wasn't. It didn't exist for me. There's so many other aspects of my life that are so much more fascinating and that I care so much more about. I mean, I have like all these nerdy stuff and all these like interests that I love talking about, and these weird like I hate this word, quirky things, niche things that like I love so much more. But for some reason, food, my body has been the consuming factor of my life. It's been the majority. It's been the bigger slice of the pie. No pun intended. Um, I don't know. I don't know why it is, and I'm slowly working on my mental and how to like, change that, and rewrite that story. And I am hopeful for that. Like I am.
I know.
I know you know, but I know it's hard for you to believe until you see it to fruition.
No, that's it's just hard. It's just hard. I watched two men I love starve to death. Granted, from a disease in their body, cancer.
Oh,
But that's essentially what happened
I
with both of
wasn't
them.
thinking of people. I didn't think of them as starving to death.
And so when your weight got so low,
I mean that triggered things. I know it triggered things for you, but it triggered things for me as well.
it's been a very scary, hard year where that is concerned with you. I mean, I do see the progress. I do try to tell you, like, hey, I acknowledge that there's progress here, and it's just so hard as a mom I just want to fix it. And I also think, what did I do to contribute to this? Like, you say all the time, the way you were with your body doesn't have any effect. That's not true. It does. Subconsciously,
Wait, I say
the
what?
way I treated my body,
Oh,
you watch that. It stuck in there. I'm not saying it was the pervasive thing because there's still outside influences, but I mean, it couldn't it subconsciously somewhere in the mind you hear your mother, your parents say they hate their body, they're so fat, and they say that like that makes them worthless. Of course, that's gonna resonate. Like, so yeah, there's a part of me that's just like, if I had a healthier body image of my own, maybe you wouldn't be in this place. You might still, I don't know.
I don't know. It hurts me to hear that. No, I don't mean that. I mean it hurts me to hear that. Like that's what I hate that.
Well, I think that's just what any good parent is going to feel. But then also, it's the understanding that I only have so much control over this situation. And really, that control is being supportive of you. Like, ultimately, it is you that has to, figure that out.
And I am.
No, I know that.
No, I'm just saying that I am. I'm saying that for myself, not really for you. I don't mean to rude, but I'm not saying that for you. I'm saying that for myself. Because I have a good mindset about my future as far as my eating and my weight and my health. Yeah, there's not. I don't. I'm trying to in life say what I need to say more. Do you know what I mean?
I didn't know.
I feel like sometimes I just like speak like word vomit, and then I feel like there's more that needs to be said because I haven't clarified it. But no, I think that's resolute. I don't want to second guess myself. You know?
Yeah.
Like I am. That's it. Period. End of discussion.
You're dealing
no
with
comma. No colon, semicolon.
You're dealing with the neurodivergent need to make clear, because I mean, at least that's like my experience. Like I over-explain.
I over-explain sometimes because I feel like people I'm talking to might not understand or genuinely believe what I'm saying. But I'm saying this as a statement, with a period, with an exclamation point. I am happy and think I am on the positive upward trend to a better health.
No Oxford comma.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely see changes, and I obviously I'm still going to be here to support you. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to add on that.
I'm
Yeah. I
mean, I think we'll touch back on both of our journeys
yeah.
in later episodes, but I mean, I think this is I want to end it here. I think it's a good little insight, I guess. I don't know.
Yes. Sorry. I was trying not to talk because you said you wanted to end it here.
No. I don't know. Next episode, I don't know what it's going to be about.
I don't either.
But I think it'll be more
not so heavy.
Not so heavy. It'll be a lighter. Okay, let's make it something that we're passionate about in a good way.
Okay.
I don't know what yet. Maybe movies, TV,
these things,
anime. You want to do reality TV shows.
You don't watch enough of that to do that.
I know. What's it? Hold on, don't tell me. What's Love Is Blind just premiered, right?
I don't watch that. Although
you watched it.
No, I haven't watched it.
I thought you have. What's the one where they like on their phones? And I'm describing every single reality show. When I
don't know.
When they're on their phones and like I was supposed to say get a text. That's no.
Oh, you're talking about Love Island.
No, I'm not talking about Love Island. It's the one where that's not what I'm talking about. I know what Love Island is. It's the one where like they're all in isolated rooms.
I know, but I don't. Oh, I think. The Circle. I've watched
that's
season
what
1
I'm thinking of, which is also a movie before that, which is a horror movie. Reality TV shows.
But no, I don't watch Love Is Blind. I see a lot of TikToks about it though.
That's why I saw it.
I like it piques my interest, but I yeah. Anyhow, but yeah, we'll figure out something that's not so.
We're gonna talk about anime eventually.
Yes, that too. Figure out something that's not so heavy. But I feel like this was an important topic to discuss, especially like, okay, that's great that I talked about mine, but a lot of people know that one. I do think that it is very important that more male-presenting beings see someone that is also male-presenting talk about eating disorders and body image issues, because I just don't think it's spoken enough about in that area.
Yeah. But thank you for rocking with us for another doozy of an episode.
We'll make you less uncomfortable next time.
I didn't fully cry.
Oh, I
Although it is okay to cry.
It is.
And if you do cry, know that I love you.
I love you.
To the back.
To the back.
To the back.
To the back. Podcast.
Bye-bye. Almost